Gail Sheehy said, "The secret of a leader lies in the tests he faces throughout the course of his life and the habit of action he develops in meeting those tests." Everyone is interested in some form of success, be it personal or professional. In my opinion, there are three strategies for achieving success. The first is goal setting, which is progressive planning. The second is problem solving, which is reactive planning in a sense. And the third, my personal favorite, is inevitability thinking. This is basically setting up conditions in your life so the outcome you want occurs automatically. All three have their strengths and weaknesses. However, a common element all three share is the ability to implement habits which carry you towards your desired outcome. Despite what we think, humans only have a small amount of willpower to use on daily tasks. Unfortunately, the majority of people waste this finite resource on useless, repetitive thoughts or meaningless activities. Luckily, knowing this fact, we can consciously focus our willpower and plow through the J-shaped learning curve that accompanies the process for learning any new behavior. I say plow through because that's essentially what you must do when you're implementing a habit. Most people are familiar with the 4 stages of competency, starting with unconscious incompetence, where you're doing something wrong and you don't even know you're doing it wrong, and then the painful conscious incompetence, where you actually realize you're doing it wrong and you realize how much you suck. Going to conscious competence, where you start doing it correctly, but you have to use a lot of effort. Then finally, unconscious competence, where you start performing it automatically without any thought. As I mentioned, it is a J-shaped curve, so when you begin the process, it actually feels like you're regressing and you're not making much progress. It frankly feels like you're banging your head against the wall. However, with persistence, you actually start performing the new behavior more proficiently, and after a while it becomes internalized and you can do it automatically. The key to implementing a series of habits is, the key that you must understand to implement a series of habits is this. Every day, you must be consciously aware of what it is you must achieve, and you must focus that finite amount of willpower on engaging in that daily task. You must continue this daily activity for approximately 60 to 90 days until the behavior has become internalized and the habit starts occurring automatically, at which point you can use the willpower that was being used is now freed, and you can apply that towards implementing a new habit. After a while, you have a collection of habits at work which occur automatically, which rapidly propels you towards your desired outcome. Something, in my opinion, which makes this whole process more effective is accountability. This leads me to the concept of inevitability thinking, which, as I mentioned, is my preferred strategy for success. I prefer this because it has 3 benefits that the other 2 strategies do not. The first is it requires the least amount of willpower expenditure. Generally, humans are moving towards something they want or moving away from something they do not want. Inevitability thinking takes advantage of both psychological drives. Second, this strategy provides the smoothest transition through the bottom of the J curve, which is the most difficult part of the process and also the area where people are most likely to quit. Third, when implemented properly, this strategy makes your outcome inevitable, hence the name. So essentially, the way inevitability thinking works is, 1, you must decide what it is that you must want, your desired outcome. So let's take a common example. Let's say you want to begin a daily exercise routine. 2, you must find an adverse consequence that's more painful than the new behavior you're trying to implement. So let's say if you miss a day of exercise, you'll pay someone $500 or spend a Saturday at Bayfront volunteering cleaning out bedpans. 3, the most important part, you must find someone close to you who's going to hold you accountable no matter what. This is crucial, and without this step, it simply will not work. 4th, you must continue this behavior 60 to 90 days until it becomes internalized and starts happening automatically. 5, most importantly, no excuses. You must accept this new habit as a part of your life and never question it. An example of how I recently used inevitability thinking is meditation. In the beginning of this year, I decided I wanted to become more present and mindful in my daily affairs, so I decided to take up the daily process of meditation, the daily practice of meditation. I decided I would meditate 15 minutes every morning and 15 minutes at night. Now, for the record, I absolutely hate cleaning gross things. I despise it. So what I did was I went to my girlfriend and my 3 roommates, and I was like, look, guys, if I miss one 15-minute session of meditation, I'm going to clean my girlfriend's bathroom, my bathroom that I share with a roommate, and the other bathroom that my other 2 roommates used, and that third one was just absolutely wretched. It was disgusting. So I began doing it every day, and initially it was very difficult. I'd try everything to get out of it, but I kept at it because, 1, I knew how important it was to implement this habit into my life for my own well-being, and 2, I really did not want to clean those bathrooms. So 5 months later, the habit started occurring, or the habit became so automatic that I can do it effortlessly now, and it's basically a second nature. Also, it's good because the willpower I was using to implement it has now been freed, and I've been able to apply that to implement new habits. And in case you're wondering, the amount of times I had to clean those bathrooms was 0. In conclusion, willpower is a finite resource, and we must learn how to focus it to use it as effectively as possible. In my opinion, inevitability thinking is the fastest, most effective way to implement a series of habits that carry you towards your desired outcome. This is based off the psychological factors behind it and accountability, which forces you to stay honest with the daily practice. So those of you who have been wanting to achieve something but have not been able to implement the necessary habit, go ahead and try this information and give it one more shot. You may be surprised at how easy it is and wonder why it took you so long to implement this habit in the first place. Thank you.